back at AAPEX 2024 with Matt Fanslow, diagnosing the aftermarket A to Z. We're in the Autel booth. What's new?
A lot, actually. One thing though, I think before we get carried away, that's not new, is this will sound like a Autel ad, and I don't mean it so much that way, but just that sometimes you fear companies get big and they stop listening to the client. They stop listening to the users, the end users. And that's a fear, and we've seen that with other companies, equipment, even outside the automotive world, right? They get so big that they don't listen to you anymore. You feel like they don't need you. Yeah.
The face ain't listening.
They're too big to fail, or something of that nature. Autel today at AAPEX revealed a brand new tool, new scan tool. They don't have a release date yet. There's no pricing available, but it's right here. It's the Ultra 2. It's an update from their current Ultra, their current flagship scan tool. This is proof that they listen to us end users, that all those bug reports we send in mean something. All those product suggestions we make mean something. We come to these trade shows, we come to AAPEX, we come to the Autel booth, we shake hands with him, or her, and then we say, hey, you know what, I have this tool. I like it, but, or I really wish it would do this, or I have this other tool that does this, I don't think yours does. And then sometimes they show you how to do that on their tool, and then sometimes they go, that's a really good idea. It goes somewhere. It goes to somebody. Somebody makes a decision, and it shows up. And I don't know about you, but that means a lot to me. It really does.
Can't improve a product if you're not listening to what the user says.
Exactly, and giving us what we want and need. And so with the Ultra 2, just some of the features are, yes, physically it's a little bit bigger. The screen's a little bit bigger. The screen's sharper, better monitor, better screen. The interface itself is a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter. There's more memory, stuff like that, the easy hardware. But in the software, they've made improvements to help us. And one of the real glaring ones that pops out is network diagnostics, communication issues, module to module. It can be a struggle. Autel's put stuff in to their tool to help us. Stuff I've never seen in an automotive tool other than maybe an OE tool here and there. Certainly not across the board. Certainly. That means they're listening to us and they're putting effort into this development.
Give me an example of something you saw that you love.
Well, one is topology map. That's only a few years old. This gives us a kind of a map of the network. All these are modules on that network, right? And not only that, we see what network they're talking on. And now they've went a little bit a step further, and we can pick a network like this and just click on that button, and it tells us the terminating resistor values. No,
that are live right now.
Right. Now, granted, we know what they should be on a CAN network, right? We know what the values should be, but this is giving us them.
It's proving it.
Yes.
That it's right.
Yes. Another thing is going into that module, you can see the resistor values, but now also I can ping this module, meaning I can send a signal to it and just kind of, I hate to say talk to it, but send it information and wait for it to come back. Send it information, wait for it to come back.
Do we know in the industry what pinging means? We probably do.
They should. I hate to say
Think
everybody.
about when the cable's down at home or the internet's down at home. You're online with the cable company, they say we're going to ping your device.
Yep.
Meaning they're sending a signal to it to see if they can hear it. There's feedback.
And if you've ever had issues with the internet and you've been on the phone with tech support, a lot of times they'll have you pull up like a C prompt, a command prompt, and then ping something, some network, some IP address. That's what we're doing.
Specific module?
Yes.
And they're seeing what comes back.
Yep. If I hit the start button, it's just going to start sending data. Just whatever it is. But the important thing is it's sending it out, and then you stop, and you can see it sent out this many, it returned that many, no packet loss. That means it's talking, that's
live. So what does that
live.
mean for a technology specialist working on all of these modules, going around the vehicle with this in their lab?
It gives me the opportunity of, let's just say I'm in a powertrain control module, and maybe I have some communication codes in there, but they're stored, they're not current, they're not occurring right now.
Okay.
And I can talk to the PCM no problem. I can start doing this and manipulating the harness a little bit, working my way around the car, or the wiring harness itself through the engine compartment or wherever. And I can start watching this and seeing, hey, I lost some packets and I was kind of over in this area. Now I can do this again and focus on this area and realize, hey, I can make this happen over and over and over.
You're pinging while moving around.
Yes.
You're actually trying to find the fault.
Maybe a wiring issue, a connector issue, something of that nature, even a module failure.
You're narrowing down where the problem is.
Yes.
And it's never been able to be done before.
Not on a scan tool, specifically aftermarket tool that I'm aware of.
This is groundbreaking.
Very. Yeah. It's a lot of help.
I can see how valuable it is. It could cut your time down immensely.
When they did this reveal, there's some people here, right? And attendees, but I would say there's names though. There's people you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Pete Landry was here. People should know how smart Pete Landry is. Isaac Rodell is here. People should know how smart Isaac Rodell is. He's one of those top tier techs, along with Pete, along with many others, right? We don't need to name drop to sell you on the idea that there was people here taking interest in what this is, probably with a smidge of, kind of not expecting much. Expecting hardware improvements.
Did you see a cool look on their face?
Oh, jaw dropping. Eyebrows raised. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting the nicer screen and a faster processor and whatever, maybe more remote assistance type stuff. They weren't expecting stuff in here that was going to help them, the top level tech. They weren't expecting that, and now they got it. And they're just kind of like, oh, wow. And a few choice words in a very positive fashion, just impressed and surprised, and I think happy that, again, I keep coming back to it, but I think it's important. We're being listened to.
And another reason to be at a show like this, AAPEX, every year, and come inside the booths and play.
Yes, and ask questions and find out, does my tool do this? I was watching this video on, wherever, YouTube. They were doing something with this other scan tool. I don't have that scan tool. Oh, yeah, here, let me show you how. What tool do you have? Yeah, it's right over here. Let me show you how to do that.
Not only can you discover what else is out there in a forum like this, but you can find out what's new with your stuff.
Yes. And you can even network within the booth, not so much with the employees, not that that's bad, that's great, but maybe you're standing next to somebody that uses the tool every day.
Yeah. You can't upgrade your current tool. This is a brand new buy.
Yes.
A brand new buy. Okay.
Yep. And then, like I said, there's not a time frame on it. It's in the future, but here's the working prototype.
Have you noticed he likes this? It's like, what's not to like, right?
Well, yeah, and hopefully I don't come off as like easily impressed.
But you are.
Yeah.
with cool stuff.
ShopBoss is software built by shop owners for shop owners. ShopBoss offers real solutions backed by real experience. Simply put, it's shop management software that works your way. When customers are in the lobby and cars are on the lift, you don't have time for a learning curve. Now that's where ShopBoss comes in with profit-boosting features that work the way you need them to right out of the box. From built-in DVI to robust customizable reporting, ShopBoss makes everything about running a shop work more smoothly. Plus, with their Boss Pay payments feature powered by 360 Payments, you can enter the era of totally paperless payments. From text-to-pay, remote payments, and consumer financing options to compliant surcharging, and now even offering PayPal and Venmo options, everything is built right into ShopBoss. Plus, everything is backed by a fantastic support team with one goal in mind: your success. Be the boss with ShopBoss. What do we got?
This is the Autel IA700. Those of you familiar with Autel's offerings of ADAS calibration frames.
How do you know all these model numbers?
Because I just read it.
Oh, okay.
I'm good at remembering numbers. I'm terrible about remembering names. But this is the sequel. This is the upgrade, if you will.
It's a mobile device.
Right. It's the new. It replaces the MA600.
Okay.
So it's their mobile ADAS calibration frame. And of course, it can be used in a brick and mortar facility, of course. But what happens with most of the mobile frames is that you get to the car, and to find center line, you have to drop plumb bobs, you have to mark the ground somehow, You have to.
But this is all laser, right?
Well, this is camera.
Camera.
And laser, but mainly camera. So now what you're doing is you're putting targets on the wheels, much like an alignment machine, wheel alignment machine. And now using these cameras helps you find the proper distance from the, depending on what we're calibrating, what camera or sensor we're calibrating, radar, if you will, find that distance and then square up the target to the car properly.
Got it.
Without getting down on your hands and knees, marking the ground, making chalk lines.
Matt, does the target stay in play and then you're moving everything else?
Yes.
Okay.
You're moving this guy.
Got it.
Yep. And it tells you what height to set it at. Right. It speeds it up. You're hooking a couple targets up to the wheels, getting this in front, following the directions on the tablet. It tells you how to square this all up.
Cool.
This was not available on a mobile frame. So on their more stationary frames, the standard frame they'd call it, or the IA 900, which was kind of also an alignment system, you didn't have to do that. So that was a really big advantage for brick and mortar, more stationary, in your shop, in a dedicated bay. But if you're a mobile tech, if you're doing glass calibrations or glass replacement, windshield replacements, glass company, you had to use mobile frames like this, but you were dropping plumb bobs off the front of the vehicle, the back of the vehicle, shooting lasers. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, but we know people do what they got to do to get things done. So they might be outside and they're using lasers. Outside in daylight, lasers are terrible to see. Again, I don't know any manufacturer that would recommend doing that.
You think this would cut half the time?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What else?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we've really had episodes on the ARN about testing integrity of high voltage battery packs, but most of them are sealed. And if they're in a collision, if that seal's broken, that's important to know. I think Redline Detection has had a system available for a while. Now Autel has a system to test for battery integrity. The seal, not so much the charging, but the seal, we can test that. That's important because now are we talking about replacing the high voltage battery pack after a collision? And do we have data to support that, right? Evidence-based. Bam. If we have to replace a high voltage battery pack, you don't just drop the thing and call up somebody to come take it away. I mean, you could, but that's not what you do. You have to discharge that thing. This will discharge it.
Is this something like in Ghostbusters where they have that big storage facility of all that energy?
It could be. And so that's testing the seal. This is a really good reference, actually. I like this.
Thank you very much. And inside of here is the energy of 500.
That's a big Twinkie. It charges the HV batteries, but I don't want to say more importantly, but something that doesn't get discussed is if we're going to replace the high voltage battery pack, we have to do something with the old one, and they get shipped away. You don't ship them charged. They have to be discharged for safety. That's where this comes into play, as well as charging. I don't want to discount
There's two things.
Charging, but I haven't heard people talk much about discharging the units. And I saw Dirk around here a while ago. It's too bad we couldn't have drug him over, but these are the things of interest. I mean, we could get over into the mobilizer stuff. That's very interesting to me, but really, these are the products I wanted to see. I wanted you to see the mobile ADAS frame.
It was great. I just love listening to you and how excited you are about all the new stuff that's coming out. I'm sure you'll probably own all of this stuff.
Someday. I gotta find a place to put it all, but
somebody's going to chase after you here and say, sign the order, sign the order. Man.
I think they got their pencil sharpened over there. No,
that's even better. That's why you come here.
Luckily, I have the credit card.
More to come. Thanks for hanging with us.